Thanks to Leader Newspapers. Coming up, it's grand final week. Division 1, Division 2 and the Under-19s. The Under-19 handball competition. Don't go anywhere for the next 25 minutes. This is SFLTV. Welcome to this week's episode of SFL TV, and joining me at the desk, as he usually does, is David Hammers Hampton. David.
Thank you, Wiz, and magnificent to be here. Of course, grand finals coming up this weekend, Division 1 and 2, so can't wait for that. It's going to be an absolute ripping weekend. Yeah,
it's the business end of the season now, no doubt about that. I'm very excited, I know you are, and everybody out there in SFL TV land is as well. And of course, unfortunately, last weekend we had the Division 3 grand final, which we've got no result in. And Dave, you'd be aware that there's a statement on the league website which explains the league's current position on that. Everybody's heard the story about what took place. There's no point in us talking about it any further.
Well, there's not. I mean, other than to say it was a real shame because it was a fantastic atmosphere out there. The crowd was great. Everybody got out there in their droves, but no doubt there'll be an announcement at some point, Wes, on the final outcome.
At the completion of the investigation, there'll be an announcement there, and the appropriate action will be taken. And that's really it's not up to us from that point of view. So that's the situation there. But more positively, let's move on to Division 1 and Division 2. And of course, the Under-19s, it's grand final week, and this is what we've been waiting for all year, Hammers. So first and foremost, let's take a look at Division 2. So now joining us at the desk are the two grand final coaches for this week. From Skye, Ben Walker, welcome.
Thank you.
And from Mordialloc, Sam Anstey, welcome boys, both of you to the desk. It's a big week, obviously. Now Sam, I might start with you, if that's okay. You had the week off after a big win in the second semi-final. How have you spent that time?
Yeah, so we obviously rested up a little bit. But we did train on Saturday as well before we came out and watched our reserves, and then watched Benny's boys play against Hampton.
Any injuries or sore boys there at the moment, or all good to go?
No, we've got a few old guys on the list, so we've definitely enjoyed having a week off and making sure we're cherry ripe for this week. So yeah, no real injury concerns in the seniors at the moment though.
There, Benny, got to get over to you. You boys have had to do it the hard way, I suppose. You're losing that first week and going through. But has that caused any problems for you guys?
No, it's actually been not too bad. The boys have had a chance to keep playing through, and we've had a few injury concerns. So it's pretty much allowed us to get our full list back on the park this week, and hopefully get up for the weekend.
Have you addressed the situation for goal scoring? You guys have played each other 3 times this year. You've only had a total of 9 goals in those 3 games. Is that something you're going to try and find at training this week, and more avenues there?
Yeah, look, it's been our accuracy in front of goal. So we're getting the opportunities, we're just not kicking them. So we've done a bit of work in front of goal over the last probably 4 or 5 weeks. Hasn't quite come to fruition yet, but hopefully this week.
8-14 in front of goals last week. That's what we expect to change this week.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
Well, I think the week before it was 1 goal, 7, I think, at quarter time as well.
Yeah, I think we kicked the first 7 of the game, so kicked ourselves out of it a little bit. Yeah, definitely looking
wasted
to rectify.
Opportunities. Hurt you.
Bad kicking at goal is bad football.
Now, Sam, on the other end, your boys are playing some pretty good footy. We saw them in their only finals appearance for this season against Skye a couple of weeks ago, and looking very sharp in front of goal. Just plenty of pace through the middle of the ground, and a few avenues towards goal. You kicked 3?
No, I'll take 3. I only kicked 1. But, yeah, you know, we've had a pretty good spread of goal kickers this year. We've got a few really good key forwards, but we get some drive out of our midfield as well. So that takes the pressure off not having to rely on one guy.
Now, I'd be interested, Benny, about this because I saw, I think it was against your boys the other week, Michael Barnhorn, who plays predominantly fullback. He keeps sneaking forward and got a couple of goals, just standing by for the handball. you're going to be onto that this week?
Yeah, the boys have been a little bit poor defensively the last few weeks, and we've been wrapped up as being a pretty good defensive side throughout the year, and something that we've prided ourselves on. So we'll certainly be trying to step that up this week.
Now, boys, both of you, both your clubs are within communities that are pretty strong and vibrant, supportive of the footy club. So how's the mood in town this week in Mordy? Obviously, there's a lot of community support, the same in your area. What's the feeling in town?
So we're really pleased to have our reserves make the grand final after a really good win against Dougherty. So that's definitely made the joint a little bit happy having two teams in this weekend.
Yeah, so and the pressure was on us a little bit on the weekend. So our thirds and seconds won through straight away.
Yep.
So having thirds, seconds and firsts on the same day has been really big. The club's really excited, and the supporters are all promised us they'll be there. So I'm sure we'll have a pretty big crowd on the weekend.
Now, Sam, I reckon you'll have the bus coming from the sporting club. Is that right? Everyone will be getting on there.
Yeah, I think we've got a ladies' day function at our footy club for breakfast in the morning, and then a bus is taking a few of the supporters out from there.
I might get that bus myself.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it wouldn't be a bad idea to get it. And Benny, you got a similar situation? You'll have a bus coming down from Skye?
Not sure at the moment. We just got off the phone to the Pres this afternoon. So they're looking at a couple of things and dragging a few of the old boys out of the pub at the moment. So
they might have to catch the train.
They might.
I'm sure we'll get them down there no matter what.
Now, just before we go, boys, the weather, and that's another big issue around there. The surface is looking terrific at the moment, but talking about the weather conditions, the forecast looks like we might see a little bit of rain, certainly in the week leading up. What's the planning around that? How does that change things?
Well, we played probably in the worst conditions of all time. The first time we met them in round 8, it was absolutely bucketing down out at Skye. So we have met each other in the wet before, but I think the ground will hold up pretty well, and hopefully it's still a really good game.
Yeah, no problems with the wet weather for your boys. They've been swimming out at.
Well, it was probably Sam's boys that really kicked us off our ground earlier in the year. So yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, no, we've played plenty in the wet this year. It hasn't been the best weather for us, so I think both sides will be pretty accustomed to the wet weather. So
very good. All right, boys. Just want to thank you for taking your time out in a really, really busy week, grand final week. We're all really excited for you. Good luck on the big day, and we'll see you then. And we'll be back after this very short break. Welcome back to SFLTV, and now it's time to talk about Division 1. And of course, with the grand final this week, before we get there, it was preliminary final day last Sunday at Springvale Reserve, and Hammer's the result.
Oh, it was an absolute cracker. It was certainly one of the games that we've seen not only this year but in years gone by. The preliminary final was Dingley 11-5-71, getting up by 4 points over St Paul's 9-13-67. Managed the last 4 goals of the game, as we know, to really pinch victory from the jaws of defeat.
And now you called that for Southern FM, but when Big Dean Francis kicked his 4th there at the 23-minute mark of the final quarter to give him the lead, just about took the roof off Springvale Reserve. It was fantastic, a great atmosphere down there and a pulsating finish, as you would say, Hammers.
And that it was. I mean, anybody that was there, everybody left that ground completely fulfilled with their preliminary final weekend.
Great value for money there, no doubt about it, in Division 1. And of course, what that means is that we now know who are playing in the grand final this week, and that is East Brighton and Dingley, of course. And joining us at the desk here on the grand final show is Dean Williamson, the captain of East Brighton. Dean, of course, the current Kingsley Ellis medalist as well. And Dean, of course, here, we couldn't get your coach this time, Ben Murphy. But also joining us is the coach of Dingley Football Club, Shane Morwood. Shane, welcome to the show as well.
Thanks, Wiz.
Boys, we'll start with you first, Dean. You've had the week off. The boys feeling really good about themselves. I mean, you've got over Dingley, of course, in the qualifying final. Had a bit of time to lick your wounds. The boys must be feeling good now.
Yeah, they're feeling really fresh. I think having the week off certainly freshens all the boys up. We had a light training session Saturday, which was terrific, and fortunately we've got no injuries going into next week.
Now, Wiz, I've got to tell you this though quickly. I know Ben Murphy couldn't join us today, but I'll tell you what, we might get a few more female viewers on the show this week, I reckon, having Dean come in and join us.
Oh, I thought you meant me.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Never with you. Shane, we've got to get to your game, of course, the preliminary final. That was an absolute cracker. And did you ever, you would never have felt that you had it, I suppose, at any point, would you?
Oh, no. Well, I thought at half time, I think we had a lot of the play and we just didn't use the ball really well. And in the third quarter, I thought St Paul's dominated the game. And then early in the last quarter, I thought for a while there, about the 10-minute mark, the last quarter, I thought we were just sort of going through the motions, really, the team. And they were just competing, but nothing really happening. And then all of a sudden, something sparked and they got going and used the ball really well and it was effective on the scoreboard.
Could you pick what that spark was? Was there something that that the boys felt ignited them, or that you felt that might have ignited them?
No, I've been thinking about it ever since the siren went. How did it start? Why? And I remember seeing Traveller Rocker come out of the back line and run and bouncing the ball, and Tony Lavery did the same. And I think Noodles, was running hard all day. I think, and all of a sudden I think we hit targets, and it just gave us some time with the footy. And then all of a sudden I think St Paul started to break down a little bit and weren't accountable. And the most important thing is that they kicked straight for goal, and we couldn't afford to miss. And I think we might have kicked 4 goals, 1 in 5 shots, and got us across the line. But some great individual stuff that happened in the last 12 minutes. But we need about 100 minutes of that next week, and we play Dean's boys. So.
And Big Dean, the competition's leading goal kicker, of course, lining up from what would have been probably 45.
35, 40?
Yeah. I think he said 70. I think.
Oh, no, he will. And as he gets older, of course.
Did you watch that kick, or did you look away?
No, I was watching it, and
because you knew it'd be just about the last play of the game too, didn't you?
Well, yeah, we had a couple of guys, Paul Aids, our team manager, and Nigel Thompson, who's regularly doing timekeeping for the thirds, or the under-19s actually. And I said, how long to go, you reckon? And I said, no, I reckon that's it. And he's having a shot, and I was looking at him, and by that stage I had no nerves, I was nothing, it was just watching a bit like you guys, but with no emotion, so whatever happens, happens. And I thought, well, the fairy tale's come true, and as soon as he kicked it, I thought, it's there, it was never going to miss it.
He hit it very sweet.
Oh, it was sweet, yeah, he said he hit it sweet, and it was sweet. So, and then, it was the longest 30 seconds after that goal, because, my two men as such said, no, that's it, there's no more time, but it was a long 30 seconds.
Well, I bet you were yelling at them at that point.
Well, the guys they're all celebrating Dean's goal, and they're all on the floor like, yeah. I said, get up the other end. We need you up there. Don't worry about that. Worry about that later.
Signalling he moved 190 Dingley footballers behind the ball for the last 30 seconds and got you over the line, so well done. Just back to the grand final now, and Dean, while that stress is going on at Dingley, and they've been the competition leaders all season, and East Brighton have come under the radar a little bit, just out there. I think 3 losses, during the home and away season. We qualified 3rd, surprised us all on second semi-final day. Probably we didn't pay you enough respect for the year you've had. You've been nicely rested while these guys have been smashing each other to death at last weekend. How does that make you feel, seeing that sort of thing going on?
Yeah, look, it's really good. I thought, just on the weekend, I thought, Dingley were obviously terrific, certainly in that last quarter. I thought St Paul's played pretty well all day as well. But I think, having the fresh legs probably was the difference in the end. Just in terms of our boys, I think we sort of have gone under the radar a little bit this year. And I think that's warranted, because we haven't really been putting the performances in throughout the year that we were hoping to. But fortunately, the last few weeks have been really positive for us. We probably surprised ourselves a little bit even as well. But everything we've been working on slowly coming together. So, no, we're really excited for next week.
On your win, of course, as was mentioned a couple of weeks ago against these boys, was there something that you did differently that day? What was the plan for that day? And would it? I'm assuming it'd be quite a similar one going into this weekend.
I was pen and paper, Hammers.
Look, I don't think there was anything really different that we did. I think it was probably just a combination of everything that we've been trying to do throughout the year finally coming together. Also, we got a couple of boys back that were injured throughout the year. Not only that, I think also that we've got a lot of senior players in our team, and I think in finals time that can either help you or it can hinder you. And I think the last couple of games it's really helped us. I think the boys really stood up, especially the senior players. Obviously, Dingley have got a lot of run, so it's going to be hard to counteract that. But I think our best footy is when we link up and try and use our run as well. and we've also got to be trying really physical at the contest as well. But no doubt it's going to be a tough match.
Fourth grand final in a row?
Yeah, fourth grand final in the row.
Still get the nerves?
Look, I'm not usually a nervous person, but you know, in grand finals, I'm sure I'll be nervous.
Bit sweaty in the palms.
The finals time I get a little bit nervous, so yeah, we'll have to wait and see till Saturday. But I think if you're not nervous going into a grand final, something's wrong.
I think that's a good call, Shane. You'd probably share that view, having played on the biggest stage of all in your playing career, the MCG and AFL Grand Final day. What knowledge do you draw from those experiences that you can share with your players now about dealing with the nerves come Sunday afternoon?
Really, it's about focusing on what you've got to do as an individual. You know, your role as a player, and not think about the day as such or the result, the possible result. Because if you do that, you're sort of ahead of schedule, and your mind can go in weird places, and you're really not thinking anything sometimes when you get too nervous. So just be calm, relax, and just enjoy the week. You know. Best time to train, I think, this time of the year, isn't it, Dean?
Yeah.
No one else around. It's just
absolutely.
yourself, and you get the whole ground to yourself, and it's a great time for football. And then the build up to Sunday is an amazing thing, and it's an exciting time. And it's East Brighton boys will have a great week and lead into it, and we'll have a great week, and hopefully the best team wins on the day, and we all enjoy that moment.
It'll be a really light week though. That said, for your boys, it's got to be just a real freshen up and a little bit of circle work, I imagine, a couple of times during the week.
Oh, circle work, I don't know. But look, both teams are fit and strong, and everyone don't need to do much at this time of year. It's just get through the week, and hopefully no injuries at training and stuff like that. 'Cause you hate to have that, and the disappointment for a player to get injured at that late stage would be just devastating for him. But no, we just get through. We had a light session tonight, and just very, very light, and ice massages and stuff like that. So the guys will just rest up and get themselves ready to go for Sunday.
I might sit down there for a massage myself, Hammers.
Well, wouldn't be the first time you've done something like that, Wiz.
Perhaps. Not always in public, though, but that's another story. Boys, that's all we've got time for this week in the grand final edition of the Division 1 component of our show for SFLTV. We really appreciate you taking the time to come in and share the experience with us. Enjoy the rest of the week leading up to it, and good luck on grand final day.
Thanks, Rich.
Thanks very much, boys. Appreciate it.
See you later.
All right, and we'll be back after this short break. Welcome back to SFL TV, and now it's under 19s time, and what we need to do now before we get to the grand final is review what happened last week in the preliminary final of the under 19 competition. And of course that saw Dingley 12-10-82 defeat Clayton 7-10-52, and I see that Brooker was the multiple goal kicker there with 5 for the Dingoes, and he's probably the standout player for the day. And of course the Dingoes win the right to go through and meet Bentleigh again in the grand final. And joining Hammers and I at the desk here for SFL TV is the Bentleigh coach first, Paul Dimattina. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Ian. It's great to be here.
And of course, Paul, this is your third grand final in a row. The undefeated Bentleigh Demons there, having a very, very good season yet again. And standing in for the Dingley under-19s coach who couldn't make it along is, of course, Dingley senior coach Shane Morwood, back with us again. Shane.
Thanks, Wiz. Good to see you. It's been a while.
It's been a little while, yes, it has, hasn't it? Yes. So, Dimmer, first up, it's been a very powerful 3 years for Bentleigh junior football. We'll call that junior football under-19s, and very well set up, very well run. 3 grand finals in a row. Just tripped up at the final hurdle for about 5 minutes last season. I know you don't want us to revisit that very often because it still hurts you. But there's been a lot of work going into this season to pay that back.
Look, there has, and I'm very transparent. We can't hide last year. It is what it is. It happened. So we're all aware of it. It's actually our 4th grand final in a row. 3 with myself coaching. Rob Lawford coached one back in 2011. So it has been a good era for our under-19s, and it's been a lot of hard work. We work very hard on our football department. We work very hard with recruiting and have a very close pathway with the Bentleigh Junior Football Club. And it's been a great time at the club. It's been terrific, really, and we've got a terrific group of young men, and hopefully that'll strengthen our senior stocks going forward.
Now, with that, mentioning last year, I know we're only brushing over it, but is there many players from that team last year that get a chance to have another crack at it this week?
Yes, there is. There's probably 11 or so, about a dozen or so that will try and get redemption this year. It's been
I didn't want to use that word. I
No,
don't.
No, it's okay. It is what it is, and I don't think you can hide behind it. And
fair point.
it's not something we need to mention to the players all the time. The players that were there last year, they still hold the disappointment of losing a grand final, and I think all players at any level would do so. Yeah. But look, they've worked hard and they've given themselves every opportunity to hopefully win it this year. But at the end of the day, they're hard to win. Grand finals are hard to win. And as Lee Matthews says, sometimes it's in the lap of the footy gods. And last year, the dice didn't roll our way. And we know that Dingley's going to be a very, very tough opponent. We've only just beaten them this year. And people talk about going through the season undefeated. Look, it's terrific. And a lot of people say to me, oh, you don't want that to happen. But what's the alternative? You don't manufacture a loss. No. So you go into every game of football with the side you've got and you try and do the best you can to win. And look, we haven't been smashing sides this year. We're just finding a way to win and finding a way to win. We've been very resilient. So we're very mindful that if we're not up and about and at our best on the weekend, we won't win. So, but hopefully we are.
Yeah, and Shane, what's I mean, you're probably not going to share all the learnings right now, but the Dingoes obviously tested Bentleigh in the second semi-final a couple of weeks ago, and it was a pretty closely fought contest for most of the day. What do your boys take into the grand final this week as a result of that?
Oh, look, I think the way they've played over the last 3 weeks, the 3 finals have been terrific footy. The pressure's been great and their intensity's been, sensational. And I think that's all I'll take into this week. As Dimmer said, like they've had some great games against Bentleigh all year, and it's anybody's game as much as they're the undefeated team. But the Dingley boys are coming in, and I think they'll be confident. It's anybody's game. It's a 2-horse race, and the best team on the day will win.
I was going to say, Shane, probably a good time to, if you want to do a robbery, I'd suggest you do it this weekend in Dingley, because you've got the 19s, reserves and seniors all the way through, so you'll have will be everything out there, won't there?
The lovely township of Dingley will be empty all day.
Well, in the seniors,
by the way, if you do get robbed that day,
don't blame me. I'll be calling. So
no.
Well, there's a couple of policemen in the senior team, the Brett Lavers and Tony Lavers, and I think we've got the blue and white tape that's going to go around the outside of the Dingley village area on the weekend, so no one can get in, no one can get out.
That's not so silly.
Do you, in seriousness though, Shane, you get to see, obviously as a senior coach, but you get there pretty early and catch a lot of these under-19 boys, don't you?
Yeah, I don't miss a game.
Don't miss a game at all?
No, I missed them. It's important, as Dimmer said, it's the development of the young kids, and any advice that I can give them, and Matt as the coach, and to help develop them into senior players, and that's what the game's about. Like if you look at our team in the seniors, it's a lot of young kids that have come through the juniors, and Bentleigh are doing a great thing down in there, and we want to achieve the same thing at Dingley. So no, it's important for the senior coach to be there and offer advice and help guide the guys, and that's what footy's about.
Now, Dimmer, I know that you're a very, very passionate coach, and I've heard you address your players on a number of occasions. The hair up on the back of the neck stuff, I can remember hearing a few of these, and your boys obviously follow you for that, and it's a pretty passionate environment. How do you manage emotions this week leading up to it? Because everybody's going to be nice and
fired up. Look, it's a good question. I mean, that type of motivational type addresses that you might refer to, they're not something that happen regularly. I think any coach probably has a little bit of arsenal that they keep in their tank, and obviously timing's everything. So the speeches you're talking about are 3/4 time in a grand final, so they're not your average everyday address that you give players. Look, we've been fairly relaxed about this year. I think last year we potentially were a little bit intense. We were having a lot of meetings and we're probably talking about the game more. This year we've been a lot more relaxed, and I've told the players just enjoy the 2 weeks leading into the grand final. It's a special time, and to all the families, all the mums and dads that have been involved with the club, they're really getting involved and enjoying it. And as much as we know how serious it is, it's the grand final. You want to win it. We've been quite relaxed this year, and I think on the training track we've been in a good frame of mind. I see the players not as intense perhaps as last year. I think that might be a good thing.
And I think that'd be a similar philosophy that you'd be going with this week as well, Shane?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, the work's been done.
That's
You
right.
don't need to run them in the ground. You don't need
Not going to let any skills this week.
No, and then the challenge as a coach is to keep them calm and relaxed and focused on what they have to do as individuals and collectively as a group as they come together on Sunday and just do what they've been doing well all year. And you know, unfortunately somebody's got to lose, but yeah, the team that wins is going to be celebrating pretty hard. And you mentioned the mums and dads and the people that support the group. There are a lot of volunteers at local footy clubs, and that's what you have to love to see the enjoyment on their face.
It's amazing. They get so much enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
It's just terrific, really, and that's what community footy is all about. It's not just the players; it's the whole domino effect it has on families and friends and partners and that sort of thing.
Right.
And makes it hard though when you're coaching. You know, you've got an interchange bench of 8. Matthew's going to have the same problem because all of a sudden it's grand final day and every auntie, uncle, grandmother, relative, friend turns up and they've got their head over. You know, last year in the grand final, you know, you feel like about 50 people are watching you. Turn around, I've got all these mums and dads looking at
Watching
me.
every move you make.
Get him on. You know, they want their son on the ground.
Well, boys, you've built the excitement for it perfectly, and Dimmer, good luck to you and your boys this weekend. Really big one. I look forward to seeing how it all goes, and Shane, of course, to the Dingoes for the whole deal, and Matt for the under-19s, but massive day for your footy club as well. And
thanks,
I, for one, am looking forward to seeing this game. The grand final of the under-19s between Bentleigh and Dingley. This is the showcase of our talent in the SFL, and if you can get along a little bit early and have a look, you'll be very impressed with the standard of the football. Now, speaking of talented under-19 footballers, of course, we've got our final heat coming up of the under-19 handball championship. So let's go and take a look at the handball. All right, welcome to the final heat of the SFL under-19 handball competition, and today we've got Jack Prosser from the Highett Bulldogs up against Nick Lowrie from the mighty Bentleigh Demons. And boys, this is a big one. I'll get you. Who's going to call? Jack, you can call. Nice and loud. Tails. He's gone the tails. It's heads. So you've won the toss, Nick. What do you want to do?
I reckon I'll go first.
He's going to go first. All right. Well, we'll just wait your turn there, Jack. And okay. So Nick, the Demons have been playing very well this season.
Yeah, we've been going along nicely.
We've only lost a couple of games for the last 2 or 3 years, so I'm trying to avenge that loss in the grand final.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Last year. Sorry, I didn't mean to mention that. I know you played in that one.
Yeah,
and you've been going right this year, kicking lots of goals.
Yeah, I'm going not too bad. Yeah, I'm getting plenty of delivery from the midfield, which always helps.
Yeah, very good. And the coach's not burnt too hard on you. Does he work hard at training?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. So he's picked you out today because you're the best handball in the team. Is that right?
Yeah, apparently so.
Well, we're about to find out, aren't we, Nick? All right, so you can start on the right if you like. Yeah, Sharpie's going to toss it into you. There we go. Got to be better than that, Sharpie. All right. We'll call that a 3. That's a 3. And that's a 3. So he's on 9. That's a good start, Nick. All right, Jack. Oh, we'll just give that 3 to hit the target. That's the rule. You right, Sharpie?
Yeah.
7. 10. And 3.
13.
So 13 plays 10. Nick, in you come. Are you going to go on your other hand this time? 3. 3. And I'll say, probably a line, and we'll just go to the 5 that time, Nick. Just stand by. What does that give him, Carlos?
20.
20. So 20 to beat, and Jack's on 13, so you need 7 to tie, 8 to win. Can you do that with your left hand?
Oh, we'll see.
Can you make the distance with your left hand?
I hope so.
All right. Ooh, it's a line of will at 5. 3. That's the 8 he needs. He's just got a free shot here. And it was a 3. So, Jack Prosser from the Highett Bulldogs wins it by 3. Well done, boys. Shake hands there, and good luck for the rest of the season. So, Jack, we'll see you coming up in the next episode in the grand final against some of the other boys who've won theirs. Bad luck, Nick, but good luck to the Demons for the rest of the season, and I know you're pretty keen on getting to that grand final and having a big win there down at Springvale, so good luck with that. That's it for the Leader Newspaper's Under-19 handball competition for this week. We'll see you next week for the grand final.
And that's the handball done for this week. Of course, stay around next week. We've got the big grand final of the handball competition next week.
Yes, in our final show of SFLTV for the year next weekend, also the grand final of the handball competition.
I tell you what, it's gone quick, Wiz.
It has.
This final series.
It has. We're, as I said earlier in the show, we're at the pointy end, no doubt about it. And So, and don't forget to get down to watch these great games, part of the SAS Security Final Series. Grand Final day at Jack Barker over in Cheltenham on Saturday. That's Wetherall Road in Cheltenham for the Division 2 Grand Final between Mordialloc and Skye. That should be an absolute belter, and you can't be a part of it unless you don't go down there and watch. So get there early and enjoy. And on Sunday,
make a weekend of it. Why not make a weekend of it? And Sunday we'll certainly be there because we've got the under-19s, of course, the Division 1 reserves and Division 1 senior final out at Springvale. So make sure get out to at least one, but try and get to both those games over the weekend. They'll be fantastic.
And if you can't get there, you can still tune in to all the live scores and a live feed of the commentary from Southern FM on SFL Live, which is a web-based mobile phone and Android phone app. If you haven't got it yet, get it and hurry up because it'll be come in very handy this weekend. And speaking of this weekend, the big day on Sunday out at Springvale Reserve 2. Of course, Southern FM will be live on air from 10:30 in the morning with Sports Fans Radio first. And then at midday, the Sunday Footy Show with myself, John Bennett and Wayne Fuller. And Hammers, of course, yourself and Johnny Tack will be calling the main game from 2 o'clock onwards.
We certainly will be. Look forward to that. And, of course, don't forget at half-time, we've got the sprint at half-time coming up in that one as well. And, of course, on Saturday, we've got the longest kick out at Jack Barker Oval as well. So plenty to get to. And I believe, my whisper is, the pre-game entertainment on Sunday is something very special from the SFL.
So do as the former head of the VFL, Mr. Oakley, would say, get there early. Get there early, folks. It's going to be very, very good. We're excited about it. That is it for SFL TV for this week. Good luck to all teams competing in the grand final, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.